everybody. Sorry for the delay. One of the planning committee is stuck at a local demos, so he'll arrive at some time through the meeting, so that's Phil. So please excuse me, it's reason for us being a little bit late. I'll just go through the ground rules so that everybody knows exactly what the ground rules are, and then we'll start the meeting. Just for your information, people sitting here on my right is the borough solicitor and our note taker to make sure everything's recorded as we go through. On my left we have the planning officers who are going to make sure that we stick to all the planning regulations, and they will be there for us to ask questions of as the night progresses. The rest of the people around the table, and obviously the planning committee, will be here to make the decisions as the evening goes on. At the beginning of each agenda item, an officer will give us a presentation on the item that we're up to discuss. If there's a qualifying petition, that's a petition with 25 names and 25 separate addresses, then one representative can address the committee for just for 5 minutes, and we're very strict on times here, so just for 5 minutes. And no other representation can be made. The applicant has the right to comply if he wants to speak. He's allowed to speak for 5 minutes, but we can only have an applicant speak if we've had an objection and we've had a representation from the objectors. However, any board councillor can speak on any of the agenda items, so we can have an officer at any time. My role is just to make sure that everything runs smoothly, and then we sort of get through the agenda as quickly as possible. So if everybody's happy, we understand, we'll move on. Number one is the minutes from the last meeting. So has everybody read the minutes of the last meeting? Is everybody happy and agreed? Yes, thank you very much. Number two is declarations of interest. I don't know if anybody has. No, I have. Is there any other declarations of interest? I've got a declaration of interest in agenda item number 4, which is the ramp works, because my niece is married to one of the directors. So I'll leave the room when that's being discussed, and David is going to take over as chair and run the committee just for that one item. So is everybody happy with that? Is that agreed by the committee? Agreed. Okay, thank you very much. And with that, request for site visits is next on the agenda. So is there any request for site visits? Anissa?
Thank you, Chair. Can I request a site visit on item number 5, please?
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Pat?
I think Councillor George Davis has requested a site visit for item number 5.
Okay, so number 5, yeah, okay. Any other site visits? Sharon?
Can I ask for a site visit on item number 9?
To go to training building.
Yes. There's been a request for a site visit for the tour, I believe, which is number 11. There's been a site visit for number 11. What I will say at this point is I would be pleased and happy if when councillors are asking for site visits, they make sure that they're there for the site visits to point out exactly to the committee why they've asked for a site visit and to make representation. So I'd like everybody to bear that in mind. So if they're asked by somebody to propose a site visit, can you ensure that they know that they're expected to turn up the site visit and make representation for why that's been so? So okay, so do does the committee agree with that? Yes, okay, thank you very much. With that now we move on to the rest of the meeting, and what we're going to, before we move on, the items that have been asked for now for a site visit. So we've asked for a site visit for Car Lane in Hoylake, for Beverton High School, and for the 22 Old Reesby Road in Upton. which is the hot tub one. Then 3 items of agendas will not be discussed tonight. We'll be going next month to have a look at them so that we can see exactly what the objections are. So them 3 items will not be discussed tonight. So if there's anybody here for them items, you're more than welcome to stay for the rest of the committee if you're interested in the rest of the planning committee. Otherwise, it won't be discussed until the next meeting next month. Be nice Christmas.
Speaker, Mrs. Speaker, will you stand as a date for the next meeting?
I'm not sure what the date is for the next. It's the 19th.
Pardon? The car lane?
The car lane will be discussed at the 19th of December's meeting.
Right, thank you.
Thank you.
Will that be here?
I'll be here, yes.
This time?
Yeah, on the 19th at the same time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. What we normally do is we normally go with the petitioners and how many people are here. So what we're going to do is we're going to discuss item agenda number 12 first, which is number 12. Is Piper's Lane is going to be first. Then we're going to discuss number 6, which is Wellington Road. And then we're going to go to number 7, which is the Shell service station. So that we're going to do that, then 3 items in that order. And then we'll revert back to the agenda. So everybody knows what's going on now, no questions, okay. Right, can we have a presentation please for number 12 please? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. This application is for a 2-storey dwelling to replace the existing 1.5-storey dwelling on Piper's Lane. The site itself is quite a large site. It's almost double the width of the plots in the area, and it's slightly elevated above Piper's Lane. Within the primarily residential area, which this is, new houses can be acceptable provided they comply with policy HS4 and community development plan, which says that they fit into the area, they look acceptable, they don't create any harm to adjacent properties through traffic, parking, overlooking loss of privacy. So in principle, the dwelling would be acceptable on the site, but the dwelling that's proposed, as I said, is a full 2-storey dwelling. It's stepped 14 metres into the site, which is quite deep, but that is actually forward of the existing building. It's between 3 and 4 metres forward of the existing building line, which you see on the property that's there now. It's a larger footprint, the dwelling that's there now. It's a long footprint, so it stretches into the site. It has a gable frontage which runs through into the site front to back. That means that the bulk of the building is away from the sides of the site and comes to the centre of the site. Due to the slope of the site, because it slopes upwards from Piper's Lane, the dwelling will need to be set into the back of the site by about 1 metre and raised by about 0.4 metre at the front of the site. So although it's next to a 1.5-storey building, and although the one that's there at the minute is 1.5-storey, there is quite a variety along Piper's Lane. There are 2-storey, there are 1-storey, there are 1.5-storey. So it's felt that the design of it is not incompatible with properties that are surrounding it. The siting is such that it shouldn't cause a problem to adjacent properties. It's set further away from the side boundary of the nearest property than the existing property is. It's between 5 and 7 metres away from the side boundary. The proposals would use the existing driveway, which runs to the eastern side of the site, and widen it slightly to get access to a garage, which is integral to the back of the dwelling. There is a proposed patio and balcony to the front of the property. Balcony is screened on each side with a privacy screen to ensure there's no loss of privacy to properties either side of it. Windows along the side elevations, because it's a long property, it has a number of windows on the side elevations, as well as just front to back. They will be either obscurely glazed or high-level windows to prevent any overlooking to adjoining plots. And there is a condition attached to the proposals that would secure this. Members should be aware that there is an extant planning consent on the land next to the site. So where there's a large garden to the side, there is a recent outline permission for a dwelling on that plot. It was a full outline application, so we have no details of the siting or of the height of it. We had an indicative plan submitted with the application which showed 1.5-storey, but all matters are reserved essentially. So this is something that we're looking like 2 plots effectively. There is a site where the existing building is, and then the site next door which already has planning consent. On the basis of the details put forward, we feel that it does satisfy the HS4. It is
the representative, the petitioner come forward? The petitioner come forward, please. Is the petitioner here?
I think
We normally do the petitioner first, then the
Dennis.
applicant, and then the ward councillor third. So
Dennis,
is the petitioner
After
here?
the petitioner.
Is the applicant, is the representative of the petitioner here? Of course, I've seen you, you just look at Would
Thank
you
you,
like to
Chair.
come forward, please, and make representation? Would you like to sit on this chair here?
We waive our right, thank you, Chair.
You waive your rights?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, obviously that means that the applicants can't come forward, so it's down to the ward councillor. If you'd like to come forward.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. If you'd like to just introduce yourself so everybody in the audience knows. Thank you.
Councillor Andrew Hodson, Heswall Ward.
Before it starts, is it okay for me to ask? I know it's short. Has everybody got a copy of this? And if they haven't, anyone else?
Well, the people who were on the site visit had, but I think they've all gone down, so I think everybody's seen them, thanks.
Okay, thank you for that. Before I started, I'd just like to point out that the officer did say it was a single site, double the size, but then she did go on to say that it is going to be split because one half of it has been sold and there is going to be an application. So basically, that site is the same, where they want to put this large property, this is the same size as all the other lines. Okay, once the applicant gets the permission to do the planning. Members should have received a pair of images of the street scene before and after the development. I take it everyone's got one. One is the photo of the present bungalow, and the other is a 3D image of the proposed dwelling. This has been professionally created and calibrated based on the scale plans and street scene views produced by the applicant. And the illustration shows at a glance the impact this proposal will have in a way which words cannot express. Nevertheless, I would wish to draw just a few points to your attention. The concerns I wish to raise are primarily matters of scale, impact on street scene and residential amenity, all matters which go to the heart of the UDP policy HS4. The principle of replacing an existing dormer bungalow with a two-storey dwelling is not contested. The issues are about detailed design. Dealing with the size and scale, the existing dormer bungalow has a footprint of approximately 102 square metres, and the footprint of the proposed dwelling is about 210 square metres, so more than double the size of half the plot. The built height of the existing dormer is approximately 5.4 metres from the formation level to the ridge, and the built height of the proposed house is 9.7 from the formation level to the ridge. Not quite double, but heading in that direction. And the scale of the proposed dwelling is significantly greater in all respects and material consideration in terms of this application. However, these changes are described in the officer's report as no more than, and I quote, different in comparison to the original dwelling. This is a gross understatement in my view. Considering the street scene impact, the potential adverse impact on the street scene is of great concern to many local residents, and not least those living closest to the site. And as you can see, the majority of the audience behind me are people who've come down this evening so concerned about it, and they've come out on a Friday night like this. Size and proportion need not necessarily result in harm. However, the objections in this case stem from the fact that the proposed dwelling extends forward 5.1 metres, not 4 as the planning officer said, beyond the long-standing building line in this group of properties, well beyond the front bay living room with the window of the adjacent property, number 58, and 3 metres beyond the rear elevation of number 58. This explains why the proposed dwelling sticks out like a sore thumb in the street scene illustration before you, exaggerated by the fact that it occupies an elevated position and is set at an angle to the highway. Members will recall from the site visit that Piper's Lane has a steep incline at this point, and that existing property stepped down the hill. On the sighting, the officer's report refers to the house in this location as set at an angle, running in line with one another. This is incorrect. Number 58 and 60, and indeed number 56, follow the same building line and were clearly constructed as complementary in one another. The building line is shared by all the dwellings from 48 through to 60, including more recent properties. Number 62 will occupy the residual part of the plot in the west of the proposed dwelling. However, number 62 only has outline consent with all matters reserved, including siting. Number 62 cannot be used to justify the siting of the proposed dwelling number 60 because it remains subject to approval by this committee at a later date. Turning to the adverse impact on residential amenity, I referred to the impact of the forward rear extension of the proposed dwelling on street scene. These considerable extensions, front and rear of number 58, create a building with a side elevation almost 20 metres overall in length, harmful to the outlook, privacy and amenity of the occupiers of number 58, having regard to both the internal accommodation and garden space throughout the property, creating a gloomy outlook. This would have been apparent from your site visits. The habitable rooms window of number 56 facing the side wall of the proposed dwelling are only 9 metres away at the front and 10 metres at the rear. The proposed house with its 6.1 metre high side wall, more than twice the height of the present bungalow of 2.8 metres, would create an effect of over-dominance and significant visual intrusion, and this would be contrary to Wirral MBC's guidance. As a consequence, the scheme is not compliant with the Council's policy on these grounds, and alone would justify refusal. Now, dealing with the poor design, the site deserves a well-designed solution for a replacement dwelling, which this proposal does not provide. The combination of the sandstone escarpment, open views of the estuary and elevated position in relation to Pipers Lane require a positive architectural response. The proposal for the site offers good architectural manners, whilst the National Planning Policy Framework emphasises a presumption in favour of development. It does not abandon good standards and design appropriate to context. The officer's report comments that the hip roof slopes away from number 58. This proposed house does not have a hip roof. It does not include any design feature characteristic of the local area, such as a hip and shallow pitch roof, which step back to reduce the mass of the building. If it did include hip roofs, the impact on number 58 and on the street scene would be much reduced. This feature has been ignored. The steep pitch of the roof gives scope for the future conversion of the roof space, as betrayed by the high feature gable window, which gives light into the space providing elementary estuary views. This proposal disguises a 2.5-storey building. What's the good reason to be for this roof construction? I'm nearly finished now, Chair. The fenestration detail lacks symmetry. The extent and use of the obscure glazing to mitigate privacy issues is an unattractive feature and indicative of flawed design. Such is the inadequacy of the design and the problem of privacy that the applicant's own design and access statement says privacy between the plots EI between 60 and 62 is to be achieved, amongst other things, through a boundary fence height 3 metres minimum. Even if a 3 metre maximum fence was needed to achieve privacy, let alone a 3 metres minimum fence, this is for a new house would, in my view, betray an inadequate design. And the siting of the garage at the rear of the proposed dwelling will result in the complex movement and turning of vehicles adjacent to the garden of number 58, again detrimental to the amenity of the occupiers of number 58. It is acknowledged that the design requires considerable excavation behind the property, but there is no reflection of the need for support on the drawings. And in conclusion, taking all these points into consideration, the only conclusion to be reached is that the scale and detailed design of the proposed dwelling is aesthetically unsympathetic to the character of the local area and neighbourhood, and in total conflict with the UDP policy HS4. My request to the Planning Committee would be to refuse the application for the following reasons: adverse scale and adverse impact on the street scene and amenity of number 58 Pipers Lane, having regard to policy HS4 1 and 2 are safe policies adopted with the UDP. I'm grateful to the committee for considering the representation and I invite you to support my request. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Okay. We'll open it up to the committee. Those of us who went on the site visits, on the site, so we know the site very well. So, David?
Having gone on the site visit, it was a very interesting site visit. It showed an awful lot. It showed the building in contact with the topography and the hill, the actual incline associated with the development on the site. I must admit I was a little concerned about the proximity of the adjacent property, which has outline planning permission, as we don't know yet what that building will look like. We only know it's got outline permission. My concern was, as the Ward Councillor has indicated, on the scale and effect and size of the building and whether it was overdevelopment. Now, I have discussed this with officers and they do not believe that overdevelopment or scale is going to be so something that would be sustainable at appeal. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think it's a moot point. But I am concerned that something as large as this, as we can see from these very good artist impressions of what might be there, would create something that would be obtrusive and visually unattractive in the street scene. My problem is I cannot at the moment see a legitimate planning reason for refusal for it to be sustainable as a do. But I'd be interested to hear if anybody else has similar views.
Anybody else, Pat?
I think Councillor Hodgson's just mentioned that the part of the proposal is to construct a 3-metre high fence between number 60 and number 62. Presumably that would come all the way to the edge of Piper's Lane, and surely that in itself would be reason to do.
Shieling, is there anything on the drawings? This fence?
But through you, Chair, reference is made to the fence, but details are not submitted of the fence at this point. And yes, 3 metres is a very high fence and would require planning permission in its own right. So we're not given permission for a 3-metre fence at this stage. It would be something that would require permission separately if that were to go ahead and if that was necessary.
In that case, part of the proposal for the building as a planning application now is that the side elevation requires a 3-metre high fence in order to provide privacy for the house that's going to be built in the next.
Again, through you, Chair, because we don't have details of that plot and indeed the levels on this site, we can't determine that at this point. We don't have that information on this application. It's referred to, but it doesn't form part of this application as a detail of this application. The site next door is an outline approval with everything reserved, including the full details on levels. Levels would be a condition of this site as well, which would determine what boundary treatment is required.
Where's the measurements that were laid out for us? Because when we went on the site visit, the applicant had actually laid out measurements of where the house was going to. Was the footing that was laid out, is that correct? To give us the scale of the house?
For the house that's proposed now, Chair, yes, I mean that seemed accurate on site. What I would say, just as a point of reference, the plans that have been circulated that show the elevations, they've come from an objector. We've nowhere verified that they're accurate plans, so they may well be, but I can't confirm that's the case or not. The applicant has submitted their own drawing if members wanted me to circulate that, which is a similar perspective, just for balance.
Yeah, I'm going to pass this down and then pass it round, so before we make any decisions we can have a look at an alternative view. And Steve, I'll bring you in. I just want to say that when I looked at the site, there are houses as tall as the proposed site on both sides of this application. And I was surprised at the roof's heights, and the officers, I'll ask the officers to verify that when we looked at the street scene, I mean, we've got plans of the street scene if that's handy for people to have a look at as well. So you can see exactly the roof heights right there on the street, which may be useful. Steve?
Well, I mean, that would be, the question I was going to ask is, having been at the last planning committee and we were circulating a picture of a completely different road to the road that was in the planning application, perhaps I've become a bit more dubious of presentations and photographs. And the question was, is this to scale? Is it realistic, or is it purely illustrative? And likewise, we are now getting another picture being sent around, which likewise is an illustrative demonstration from the applicant, who's our objective. So, without being able to measure this completely purely, it is difficult to take into consideration. I mean, I know Piper's Lane are large plots and houses of various standards in that road. It would not be unusual to see a house or a development The other question is, we've got an application apparently live or in the process on the site next to it. And I just want to brush up my planning skills. If this was given permission tonight, this planning permission, would that have an effect on the other planning application or what's the sequential way these applications move forward? This went through tonight, would that reflect on the other planning permission or vice versa? Just to put it in my own mind where we can sit.
Okay, can I just pick up on a couple of things there, Chair? First point you made, Councillor, about the plans and on whether I put it or not. Planning application is a legal document, so the information that's submitted within state laws should be absolutely up to trust and assumed as accurate, and that's what we're considering on that basis. In terms of the sequence of events, the site next door